Welcome to the Shabazz Center. This is an important community center for all of us because it celebrates the life of a great American, Malcolm X. And we have the statue of Malcolm X right here. Malcolm X was someone that resisted any kind of discrimination. Malcolm X was somebody that organized the African American community, all communities. Malcolm X was a religious leader. And I often wonder what he would have said during these very difficult times. And so we're here. This is the place actually where Malcolm X was killed. This is the old Audubon Ballroom. I remember as a young kid that day, my brother and I came up from 153rd Street where we grew up because we heard there was some issues here, kids being kids. We wanted to find out what it was. And it was that tragic day when he was assassinated. And so we said that we felt that this will be a great location to have a different swearing in. Right? One of resistance. 100 days of resistance just to start. Every single day. Every single day. Cada día, primero le quiero dar la bienvenida a este centro, el Shabazz Center, que es un centro histórico porque es el centro que representa y le mantiene vivo el legado de Malcolm X, y entendemos de que esto es un símbolo de resistencia. Fue precisamente en este espacio donde Malcolm X fue asesinado en los años 60, y comenzamos aquí lo que nosotros llamamos 100 días de resistencia contra la administración de Donald Trump. 100 días. And every day we will choose a different issue. One day, it could be our resistance to the elimination of the clause of the Obamacare that allows people with pre-existing conditions to have access to health care.
Yes.
The next day, it could be in support of the close to 1 million DACA young students that could stand to be deported. The following day, it could be our resolve to have criminal justice reform. As we move forward, it could be our efforts and our resolve to take our nation back from Vladimir Putin and the Russians. Yes. And so every single day, we're going to have a reason why we will resist. And we will start today, and we wanted to have this community swearing in before 12 noon so that the entire world knows that right here in the Shabazz Center that remembers and honors the name of Malcolm X. And we all know what he said. He said, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray. And that's what's happened. We've been hoodwinked, we've been bamboozled. We've been led astray as a nation, but we're going to take it back. We're going to take it back. So, I would like to introduce a good friend who came in from our neighboring district of East Harlem, and someone who's part of this, who is an integral part of this 13th congressional district, Assembly Member Robert Rodriguez.
Thank you all for being here. I represent East Harlem and Barrio, but I also represent the State Assembly. I chair a commission on federal and state affairs. And in the shadow of Malcolm X, we all realize how important it is that we stand together united in our values to protect working families and immigrants in New York State. We know over the next 100 days, our resolve will be tested. There are discussions about building walls, making it harder for Muslims to enter our country, deportations, all this rhetoric that we know is contrary to our values as New Yorkers and as Americans. So our ability to come together, united as a community, to protect those values is what's going to make a difference over the next 4 years as we try to right this wrong, as we try to remedy the bamboozling that has happened, and as we try to shine a clear vision for what New York is and what this country should be. So I appreciate all of you being here in this community swearing in, and I've made the promise not to give any time to the other inauguration that's happening today, because really all the time and the energy should be on protecting healthcare for everyone in our community, making sure that the dreamers have an opportunity to stay in the only country they know, and to make sure that when we talk about providing relief for working families, that means educational, financial, and making sure that we provide all the governmental supports that they deserve. So I want to thank you all for being here and standing united with our Congressman, Adriano Espaillat, in this effort to make sure that we hold our values together. Thank you.
We will reserve each day. One day we will resist for peace in the world. Another day we will resist for the environment against global warming. Another day we will resist to ensure that we continue to have the growth in our economy that President Obama led. 100 days of resistance, 100 días de resistencia. Nosotros vamos a luchar 100 días de resistencia. Let's listen to our local city council member, Councilmember Mark Levine.
Se entiende español por aquí, ¿verdad?
Sí,
no,
sí.
me alegra mucho. Bueno, ustedes saben que yo como aliado de Adriano me siento muy orgulloso de pararme al lado de él junto con mi amigo asambleísta Rodríguez. No hay nada que me inspira tanto como pararme al lado de líderes como estos, como Adriano, especialmente con el fracaso que está ocurriendo ahora mismo en nuestra capital. Y yo sé que hoy día Donald Trump está consiguiendo al poder, pero nosotros como pueblo, como activistas, también tenemos poder.
Sí.
El poder de organizar, el poder de resistir, el poder de luchar por nuestros valores, por nuestros intereses como progresistas, seamos inmigrantes, no inmigrantes, seamos indocumentados, documentados, seamos musulmanes, cristianos, hindúes, judíos, pero sé que nuestra lucha es aún más potente tener un líder como Adriano Espaillat. Batallando día a día. Y él es así, él batalla, él lucha, él es así. Y eso es lo que se necesita ahora mismo, ya que nos enfrentamos a una amenaza tal y como es la presencia de Donald Trump. You know, there's a saying that fate has a way of ensuring that great leaders emerge to tackle history's biggest challenges. And you know, when this community went to vote last June to pick the first new congressional leader we'd had in almost half a century, I think we can admit that few of us imagined that we would be facing the presidency of Donald Trump. We voted for Adriano because of his leadership ability, his track record, his ability to bring people together. But as fate would have it, our community sent the perfect leader to Washington for the Trump era. The perfect leader to confront a man with disdain for virtually every segment of this congressional district, whether we are immigrants, whether we are religious minorities, whether we are people with disabilities. We are facing a presidency that is hostile to our interests, to our people. And we needed a leader like Adriano, the first person to have ever been an undocumented immigrant to be elected to Congress, to give voice, to give voice to our values and our interests. And I cannot wait to stand with him for the next 100 days and the next 1,000 days, and as long as it takes to defeat the agenda of hate of Donald Trump. Thank you all very much.
We will resist for 100 days, and another day we will resist for Donald Trump's assault against women's rights and women. Another day we will resist for what he has said about Mexicans. Another day we will resist against the Muslim registry. We will be there to resist the first day they try to put the first brick on that supposed wall. We will resist for 100 days. Resistencia. And now let's hear from our city council member, Idanis Rodriguez.
Well, thank you, Congressman. You know, it's a tough day in our nation. We never thought that we will be having a team of people in the White House committed to take our nation backward. But will they take the nation backward, or will we push our nation forward?
Forward.
Where are we going? Backward or forward? Where? As you know, these guys say, education is a passport of the future. And there's people that Donald Trump has brought in charge of education who doesn't believe that education is a right for everyone. Quality of education is not only to say that there's a student going to the classroom, it's how many students are going to those classrooms. A working class student, regardless if they are black, Asian, white, or Latino, receiving the best, the same education. And I take this day as a challenge for everyone. We will push Donald Trump.
Yes.
And the value of this nation will survive because the value of this nation are stronger than any particular individual. A lot of people have fought so hard. It was up to 1919 that women was not allowed to vote. And it took a lot of women to be in jail, to die, to get us right. And that's why no one in 2017 will take our nation or respect the rights of our women. And I gotta say, because I have my 2 daughters and my wife. So in my house, women rule.
That's right.
And I know that that's what we are as a society. But you know, Congressman Espaillat is ready. He's ready to say, I need a standing with my community. With a community that I represent that have the recent immigrants who came from the former Soviet Union, that is coming from Latin America, who coming from Africa, living in Harlem. Latinos, because this city has been built in this nation by immigrants from all over the world. But today, I take this opportunity to invite my progressive brothers and sisters from cities such as New York to take this day to say, segregation is not over.
That's right.
Segregation is not over in our nation because segregation cannot be changed just because we changed the laws in the 1960s. Segregation only ends when we change it by culture. And I don't want us to only use Donald Trump to escape, to address, not to deal with segregation that we have in our own society. Let's take this day to say, let's fight Donald Trump, but also let's commit to close the gap that divide our society in cities such as New York. Thank you.
We will be there to resist his nominations. We will be there to resist his nomination for Attorney General.
Yes.
We will be there to resist his nomination for the Treasury. We will resist accept his nomination for the EPA. We will be there every step of the way.